Meeting come to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Bunting. Here. Commissioner Gay,
Here.
Commissioner Owens.
Here.
Absence, we have Commissioner Bailey and Commissioner Sopsey. And I'm the Chief Deputy, Teresa Bushry, and then we have Sheila,
Acting Administrator.
Acting Administrative Sheila Barnaby.
Thank you. Tim, can I get you to say the invocation?
Yeah. Would we bow our heads, please? Dear Heavenly Father, please be with us, guide us in the Gratiot County's business and have us do your will. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Join us for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't believe we have any additions or deletions to the agenda. I hear a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second it.
Moved by Tim, seconded by Jan to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Administrators report.
Okay, so I spoke with Becky today. She's kind of in charge of our audit, and we have three things that are left open. Those all have to be handled outside of the house. So we are doing really good as far as finishing up our audit. Allie will be back on campus next week. As far as personnel goes, we hired an animal control officer, so we're fully staffed at animal control now. We did have a retirement from Commission on Aging, and a new staff member has started for that position as well. And we just brought on a case manager for OCC. So the only openings we have a part-time corrections, bailiffs and security, and crossing guards. So we're largely fully staffed at this time.
Good.
Are you talking about a forensic audit?
No, I'm talking about our annual audit.
Here, our annual audit. Okay.
Did you have any committees that you had to report on?
Well, I went to, we're all Republicans. I went to the Republican meeting on January 30th. At Yvette Clark's exercise place.
The gym. That's what it's called, the gym.
What?
It's called the gym.
The gym?
Yeah.
All right. We picked 9 delegates and 3 alternatives to vote at the Republican convention, February 21st, Friday. Hopefully it's later on Friday, the 21st and 22nd in Detroit. We talked about 2026 midterm election. Gary Peters, a Democrat, U.S. Senator from Michigan. He's going to retire. So that seat's pretty well open. And of course, Gretchen Whitmer's term expires in 2 years. Governorship is pretty low. And that's it.
Thank you. Jan, did you have some report?
Yes, I do. Next, I haven't been to any meetings, but there's several coming up that I wanted to mention. MMR meeting is next Thursday at 4 o'clock at EOC. And that would be the 13th. Also, Conservation District is having a dinner this coming Wednesday.
Thursday.
Thursday? Oh, yeah, Thursday. I'm sorry. Yeah, Thursday at 6 o'clock. Yeah, at 6. If you want to go, let me know and I will call and make a reservation for you
Thursday
there.
this week or next?
It's this week. This week. And then also I have a GIS meeting to go to the same night here at the courthouse at 5 o'clock. So I plan on coming here first, then leaving here and going in to the district. The nice thing about going to the Conservation District dinner, you're gonna hear all their plans for this next year, things that they want to do and, things that they have been doing. So it's kind of like a nice time to, and also you meet other people. Well, you know, they're here for the farmers and we are agriculture. Gratiot is. And so it's kind of a real important time to go to something like that. So next week, next time we meet, I'll tell you all about it. Because I will have been to these places. That's it.
Okay. Like you guys, most of my meetings were earlier in the month. But believe me, I've talked to everybody since, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay,
You talk to everybody.
yeah. Next up, I got,
Consideration of new business.
new business. Parks and Recs. John?
Yes. So the Gratiot County Parks and Rec, through their millage, states that there's a portion set aside to award local municipalities that apply for new parks or upgrades to current parks that they have. And this year, back in 2020, you guys approved an amount of up to 100,000 to be set aside. This year, we received 3 applications. The first one, St. Louis, City of St. Louis, Alba Township, and the Village of Perrington. All 3 ranging from new equipment to accommodate all age groups. New parking areas, ADA parking lots and spots. New picnic tables, electricities, 2 pavilions. All 3 requesting different amounts. The Parks and Rec Board met, and I'd like to propose a motion to award the City of St. Louis, who requested $36,061.31. Alba Township requested $10,300, and the Village of Perrington $35,431 to fulfill their grant request. And all 3 of those amounts total $84,792.31. We decided to go with all 3 to diverse the money rather than put it all in one spot. Because we thought that'd be the best way to use the money, so.
I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and allow the Parks and Rec organization to allow them to use this $84,792.31 and divide it up between the 3. Actually, it's a city and 2 townships.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
Moved by Jan and seconded by Tim to approve the request for the total of $84,792.31. Yeah, we should do a roll call on that, Scott Money.
Yep, okay, so Bunting,
Yes.
Gay,
Yes.
Owens,
Yes.
okay,
And for the people watching, there is a millage and it's around $600,000, which funds our parks around the county. But we also want to give up to $100,000 each year to other villages and townships, pardon me. So that's what we've done. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much.
I skipped over public comment. Any of you guys want to make any comments? That would be on air? Okay.
I have one thing to say about the parks, if I could. You know, the parks are really looking great all around in Gratiot County. It's maybe sometime when people are out, like you're out there, take a picture, maybe we can get this on, I watch YouTube and we're on YouTube. Maybe that's something that we could put on YouTube just to show there's a lot of people that live here, that live on farms, that live way out. And just to see if they'll think, wow, they probably didn't know that we have a park where you can go swimming and play on swings and stuff like that, play ball, whatever. have reunions, camp out. So it might be something that we might be able to advertise a little bit.
Yeah, we have a promotional video too. So I've been posting that on our social media and maybe I can talk to Sheila or Matt, maybe we can post on the website somewhere and people could go out and go visit Gratiot's website. They can click it and watch it.
Oh, that would be great.
Yep, yep.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, MMR. Did you want to talk, Dave, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Afternoon. Real quick, we met last month with the MMR service contract for MMR and Gratiot County Services. Went over through their contract with the county and upgraded some things, just some more transparency in giving reports back and forth, beefing up our advisory board. There's still no cost or any of that. There's also some wording in there for a class with the fire departments and rescues. So we had a really good talk. It was about an hour and a half talk between MMR and myself and Chris and Dave Nelson and George Bailey. And really good conversations came out of that with a new contract that you see. And it's all done and ready to go now for another 5 years.
Hey, Dave.
I'd like to make a motion that we allow our chair, Dave Owens, to sign the contract for another 5 years with MMR.
I second.
Moved by Jan, seconded by Tim, that we entered into an agreement with MMR. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
And by the way, Dave, there will be a meeting this coming Thursday at EOC, 4:00 with MMR. Yeah, our regular meeting, yeah. I thought he was gonna send those to me and I was gonna mail them out to you, but I see he already sent them on to you.
Next Thursday, 13th.
Yeah, next Thursday, week from Thursday.
I make a motion for consideration to enter into the airport meeting.
Moved by Tim, seconded by Jan to enter into the airport meeting.
Did Jane second?
Oh, I'll second it, yes. Sorry, I was writing.
Dave Reddermark.
Okay,
You're up to bat.
okay. Dennis, do you want to? Fill us in here?
Well, with January's report, I sent that in. We were talking about that. Normally the reports that I do are based off month-end data, especially the second page of that, which is, you know, statistics of what happened at the airport with fuel sales and stuff like that. And earlier we had moved the meeting to the third week of the month so I could get the reports done. So, you know, because usually they want them the Thursday before, so I didn't get this done till, I don't know, Sunday night or something, or whatever. It's time we go through and reconcile everything. So I don't know what you want to do going forward, whether you want to keep the meetings here at the same time, place, or move it around again. So anyway, basically the first is just activity at the airport. Weather was a little better this month. We only had 8 days out of the 31 where no one bought fuel. December, we had 16 days where no one bought fuel. So, so numbers were a little bit better for fuel sales and stuff. Probably our biggest thing we had in January was our annual EEA chapter Christmas party, which was held on the 4th of January. We had 66 people attended. We had Sweet Airlines come and they were gave us a little entertainment at the end. And, Shepherd Bar and Grill catered the meal on behalf of the chapter. We've done that different ways over the years. we did have some jets in and some people buying some Jet A. The statistical piece of it, we sold 521 gallons of Jet A. Compared to last year, the same time, we sold 356. So we did have state of Alabama did come in an airplane, picked up a prisoner. That was on the 28th, I think 29th of January. They wanted to come in before Christmas, but the weather was bad. And then they wanted to come in the previous week and they got an inch of snow and they shut down their airport in Alabama for 2 days. So, but there was a prisoner that was here in Gratiot County. And as I understood from what they said, the prisoner had got out on parole and then violated something on parole. They rearrested him, then they checked the database and found he was wanted in Alabama. So anyway, they come and got him anyway. So, but they bought 300 gallons of Jet A, so that was good to get back home. So out of that 521, there was 4 sales, 300 gallons of it was to that jet coming in, picking that up. So, last year, we sold like 342 gallons of 100 low lead. This year it was almost 900 gallons. 3 Point had the most gallons, 577 gallons, and the county had 341. So anyway, we're starting off to a good ahead of last year. It all depends on the weather, whether people are flying. So, the only other thing to note, going into February here, February 10th, we're gonna have a pre-bid meeting on the replacement of the taxiways between the hangars. That's gonna be handled by the engineering firm. The bids for that project will be due on February 24th, as I understand it. And I don't know if you guys have been notified but officially notified in the minutes of the State of Michigan Airport Commission. There was $4 million that they had set up for some grants. We had applied for 4 of them. One to replace some of the money that we would need for the taxiways and some other equipment and stuff. One of them did get approved and was the taxiway thing. So there's going to be 55,000 coming in to help with the taxiway piece of it. Which was the portion that didn't qualify for federal grant because it's next to owners' hangars. So, but that was the one we were hoping that would come in, help offset that. So, I don't know if we've got an official notice on that. It was in the minutes or it was in the agenda. And it was my understanding that all those grants that were outlined in that agenda got approved, and ours was the 55,000 for that. So I didn't know if anybody had advised you of that. The other thing coming up, Sparling Corp built our fuel farm. It's time for our calibration of the meters and replacing all the filters. We talked about, Chris and I talked about having them do it or find another outside firm. But I talked to the engineering firm about it and they suggested that we continue to have, at least this year, Sparling Corp do the calibration because we still have some little issues once in a while on pressure on, so it should be under the warranty and they'll check that out while they're here. So I don't have a date when they're coming. And then the only other thing that's coming up in February here, I think everybody's aware, but we took the underground storage tanks out and then they did testing to see if there was any groundwater contamination or whatever. And they took 4 samplings under the tanks and then I think about 7, 8 samplings from the tanks back to the dispersal unit by the ramp. 4 of those sites next to the ramp had some higher levels that qualified as a contamination. So McDonald Air Service, which owned those tanks, had insurance through the underground storage tank thing. So, so what that allows, there's $1 million policy for fixing any issues. The deductible is just $2,000 on that. So Triterra, we're moving ahead with Triterra. So they did the initial stuff. They're going to bring out next week on the 13th, they're going to bring out a ground penetrating piece of equipment. They're going to go around the parking lot and where they might want to drill some, well, I'd call them little wells. They're going to, so they can take water samples and see where it's penetrated down. So they're going to bring that equipment out on the 13th, go around, find all the utilities, whether they're wires, gas lines, whatever. A lot of that stuff was put in so long ago, no one's got good maps of it, so it probably won't take that long. They just got it's on a cart, they drive it along, and they spray painters put them things. Then they're gonna come back and drill some holes down to the water table. I'm not sure how many at this point, maybe 4 or 6. And then they can come and take samples, similar to what they do at the landfill. They come quarterly or something and take some samples and see what the readings are, and then go from there. Most likely, this piece of it will be open like for 1.5 years. So taking samples and see what changes or what doesn't change. So other than that, do you want to move into talk about the different projects?
Yeah, if you want to go over that quickly.
Yeah. Our advisory group met on the 15th of January at the airport. And just to refresh everybody's memory, we had a grant request in for a new terminal. That was not approved. In fact, majority of the money went to Detroit and Grand Rapids, which they got pretty nice facilities to start with. So, but there is one more year to submit a grant for terminal. So the discussion was around, is there some things we could do in the terminal, kind of spruce it up a little bit? And they came up with this list of items. And high priority kind of being the water treatment system there. We have rust really bad there. We have some outlets that aren't working. So some input from other people that work for consumers that they're at the airport said there's a ground or something missing someplace. So it won't let them charge cell phones and stuff when pilots come in and stuff. We had the other thing was LED lights. We got the old lights there. And we might be able to get the local contractor that's working here to look at them, see if we can switch those out. We also have a study that consumers did a few years ago on the lights at the airport about rebates and generating less electricity usage if we move to LED lights. The mid-priority thing, those were kind of some different things. Parking lot lights, that's kind of under the whole lighting thing with LEDs. Camera for security purposes. I worked with IT on that particular thing. We talked about the internet. 3 Point Aviation has internet, but prior to this last year, we were supplying it to the terminal so pilots could have it. So we were talking about maybe making some changes there. Then there's working with the internet and some other issues within the building there. And some lower priority items, some furniture, carpet, some paint. If we make any major changes and we get a terminal, we can maybe just transfer furniture, equipment, or water treatment system to the new system. Couple other things we didn't talk, that wasn't initially about the terminal. We also talked about the 10 acres on Seaman Road across from runway 18 to the north. The trees are down there. We cut the trees this last year. Brush is now up there. We sprayed the brush this last year about trying to get that brush knocked down so that we can work toward getting it into grass, so we don't have brush every 5 or 10 years that we have to recut. So we might work on getting some bids on that particular thing. And then I think there was one other item that wasn't tied directly to the terminal, was down on Eli Highway. We cut a bunch of trees down there. We took the stumps out. There was 15 piles of brush. We burned what we could of the brush, but we need to reconsolidate the brush into 4 or 5 piles and reburn it again. And we also have a transmitter that's on Eli Highway that we disconnected that needs to be removed. So we talked a little bit at the meeting about getting local bids on that also to get that equipment removed. It's in the ditch right away. So Consumers has turned off the power to that. So there's some savings. We won't be paying $60 a month for that transmitter when we're not using it anymore. So the combination of these things, if we could get the board to maybe approve those items, to go out and get bids on it, not just move ahead, but, pursue some bids on it and then come back. We can kind of go from there. So.
A question. Do you have, like in airports, they always have a lot of cameras. You mentioned a camera. Like, do you have to have cameras when the planes are coming and going?
We don't have any cameras.
We don't have any.
No.
I thought you had a camera or something.
The only cameras that we would have at the airport would maybe be in a private hangar or in corporate, some private cameras. But we don't have anything of the facility or the grounds around.
Do they usually or they don't usually?
No, they normally have them. To what degree probably is a little bit different piece of that by airport. Some airports have fencing all the way around and restricted access. We're a smaller airport. We don't have fencing and we don't have, security, for example. So people can come into the airport and kind of going back and forth. But we've had a couple instances last year that it would be nice if we kind of knew what was going on. So, I think we'd want some that could maybe have something in the terminal so we can see what's going on in there. Probably the ramp. And I think the discussion was so we could talk to the local,
There's a police officer and his name is Chris in Elma, and he puts up cameras. He does a really good job. He's an officer. I'm not sure what he does. I don't think he's out on the road. I think he does something inside. But anyway, he puts up cameras and hooks them up to your computer, your phone, and very, very good. I mean, it covers a lot of area. And then on top of that, if you want to move it, like say there's a problem, you can move that camera from your phone and he'll show you how to do all that. You just take your finger and move it and that camera will go from one side to the other side.
Well, I think there's still some grant money available, I guess, from what is indicated through Emergency Preparedness Group. They may want to, discussion was that we need to talk to them about it and see what's, they may want to tie something in there for other things, for the county. Maybe a tower or something else that would help them on communications. I'm not sure on that piece.
He's real reasonable. That's the reason I'm telling you about him.
Yeah.
Chris is his first name. I should have his last name at home, but you call and ask for Chris at Elma Police Department and just say he's involved in cameras, outside cameras. They'll tell you who it is.
Well, I think in the earlier discussions with the with the emergency preparedness group, they I think they want cameras that they could have a screen that they could just watch who's coming into the airport.
Well, that's what he does have, same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You can watch it on your TV or your computer or.
They have a control center there that
Oh, okay.
they just put I've been there.
System within the
Yeah.
house.
Be part of that system.
Yeah.
In past, the county sheriff people would come around at night and pull into the airport, kind of check on stuff. I'm not sure if they're doing that.
I often wondered if you had problems out there. You're so far out, but then a lot of people don't.
Well, it's, times changed a little bit. We never really had much problem at the airport. Like 10, 12 years ago, there were some kids that got into the terminal and started a fire in the bathroom. And we had to they had to renovate it. We haven't had any problem like that. But this year we did have, we have a refrigerator there and we had pop and stuff. We had a little money jar for that and money disappeared out of that. So, we assume it was young adults, but we don't know because, we don't have anything that tells us that. So we ended up putting up a little lock thing that they had put money in on the wall. So, and then we had some other issues, around the hangars there. But, you know, it'd be nice, if we could see stuff, you know, and have it recorded, and we could trace it back in case we have any vandalism.
See, you have that there on your mid priorities on your project list for cameras.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah.
Jan, did you want to make a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion. That we go ahead and let the airport, I'm looking for my notes here. Exactly how I should say it. Okay, right here. Enter, okay, make a motion to go into the airport. No, that's not it.
Consideration to approve moving forward with bids for airport projects.
Okay, I'm sorry, yes, move ahead with the bids for the airport.
Second.
Moved by Jan and supported by Tim to approve moving forward with bids for the airport projects. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you, Dennis.
I found it. Sorry. I don't know.
Additional public comment.
You wrote those down.
Oh,
See that?
yeah,
Didn't tell me anything. It's all on this page.
I'm goofing up here. Should add a motion to approve the minutes of January 15.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for January 15th.
Second.
Moved and supported that we approve the minutes. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Now we need to adjourn the airport meeting to go back into the regular meeting for the purpose of adjourning. If that made sense.
To make a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn the airport meeting.
Yeah, that.
Okay, adjourn the airport.
I'll second it.
Okay. Moved and seconded that we adjourn the airport meeting. Is there any public comment? No, lacking that.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'm not gonna second it. I'm gonna make you guys stay here for a while. No, I'm just kidding. I'll second it.
Moved by Chan, supported by Jan to
I gotta
adjourn.
stay and turn my phone.
I just want to keep you guys here.
All right.
Meeting adjourned.